know what they say about hats. Okay, just kidding. The Egypt game. Review! Please tell me why my reviews are terrible. Alright, let's start. The Egypt game by ZILPHA, KEATLEY, SNYDER. Or is it SNYDER? Well, the first time Melanie Ross meets April Hall, she's not very sure, and she's definitely sure, to be honest, that they have anything in common. And then suddenly, one day, stroke of luck, this happens. They finally found out that they love ancient Egypt. Both of them love ancient Egypt. And boom, from then on, they have become Egyptians. At least, they say that they've become Egyptians. I mean, they dance, walk like an Egyptian. They even do lots of other things too. They like do the Egyptian burial ceremonies that they do. I'll find a parrot and all those things. Hello, Toph. I give you this message, and now I will go tomorrow to fetch my answer. Remember thinking that, hey, there will be no answer. Yippee! Go back and suddenly find an answer that they read it out. And then they finally found out I was an Egyptian member who has been doing all that. And suddenly, out of the blue, they find out that it was one of the Egyptians who did it. And then they ask one final question, and he confesses because of that question, and he has literally no answer to that question. And that happens, and finally, there's an answer that's a different question. That's a different answer too. It turns out that security, the little octopus doll under there, was put under a set the evil god's table, and that happened, and suddenly the message decided to tell them where Set is. It's as if Toph was answering to every one of their calls and every one of the things that they've been doing, and it was miraculous too. And suddenly they realized that the professor, the guy who everyone had a stereotype against of being cruel and gay, and all, yeah, and old and wrinkly and serious and emotionless. Yes, right. Yeah, I guess, yes, I suppose. I hope you have a nice day. I think so. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, all those types of things, without saying anything with emotion, literally goes ahead and becomes the nicest person that they've ever known. In fact, when I originally read about the professor's dialogue, I actually thought of it as, hello, yes, I do have that, yes, I do have that too, but everything else is under the tree. Hopefully you guys can find it yourselves. I thought of it as that voice, but at the end, when he screamed, help, and of like a great old manly voice, but with a great nice voice too, with emotional, and with very much emotion voice, that happened, the professor came in and was able to speak with emotions. Let me read you some things he said, and this is how I imagine their voice. I see. Possible. Many things are possible. I don't know about these other reincarnations, kiddo, but in this one, you're a nut. Oh wait, that wasn't the old man dialogue, the last part, that was a guy named Nick. However, no one really thinks that kind of happened too. And then later on, when I eventually read his next dialogue, I read it like this. Anne was delighted when I decided to travel and do research. While he studied various tribes, she studied their art forms and collected samples of their crafts. And usually, she managed to get involved in various efforts to improve the living conditions of the people of the area. The A to Z store was Anne's idea at the beginning. Her plan was to make it an outlet for some of the native handicrafts from areas where we had worked. It was on our last visit together that she bought the building and made the first arrangements. That was basically what seemed to happen, and everything seemed to work out fine. And this is just how it teaches you about dialogues too. The Egypt game teaches you about some things and stereotypes that can happen to you. Originally, if you read about it and read something, a description of the man and how he spoke, you think, originally at least, you think of it as that. But then when you finally found out at the end that he's another completely different person, you somehow think of his voice changing. Which is pretty much what seems to be happening too. All I kind of think about is the fact that the Egypt game introduces lots of stereotypes too, and the stereotypes happen to be a very, very, very big difference too. Stereotypes are a bad thing. Even if the stereotypes are positive, it intrigues them into thinking that, hey, if you're not that, then you're stupid, and they like do that, like the stereotype, all Asians are good at math. That's not entirely true, because not all Asians are good at math. Sure, I'm an Asian, and I'm pretty good at math. Well, just reasonably good at math. I still have to learn about log and all that, but lots of people actually do think I'm pretty good at math. In fact, when they have trouble with their math questions, they come to me, and then I'm pretty stumped by them too, because according to their logic, I should be able to figure this out, but I also using their logic, so at that point, it kind of happened to me that it struck hell. It rained roosts. It rained blood on me when I was thinking of a math problem that I myself couldn't figure it out. Of course, they never really think of that, because they have a stereotype that I was pretty good at math, and because I always got like 7 out of 8 and 8 out of 8 in my math tests. Also, my final grade was 7 out of 8, because turns out somehow the coffee was spilled and they couldn't mark a page because it was ripped apart by accident because of the coffee spill, and that ruined the test, and they couldn't really do anything about it. So they made me redo the test, and then turns out I flunked one question, and that got me a 7. So that happened, and what next should I say? Well, let's talk more about how and why you should read the Egypt game. Why not? Well, why should you read this Egypt game anyway? Other than that, it teaches you about stereotypes, and that stereotypes are a bad thing. It also teaches you that stereotypes can make you form voices in your head, and it influences your decisions about people too. Sometimes you say, I know all about this person because this! Turns out it's not a fact, it's a stereotype. It's a common stereotype. And those stereotypes are never kind of the right things, too. The Egypt game also tells us a lot about Egypt, too. That's another reason why you could read this book. About the Egypt game, to be able to teach you lots and lots of things about Egypt, as well as showing how you could do it yourself. Sure, some of the things that they did were some of the stereotypes were from common household objects, although some of the things like the bust of Queen Nefertiti are from common household objects, because it's impossible to make even a fake version of the bust of Nefertiti with glass and mortar and all that stuff, because it turns out that mortar is very expensive, and only the best universities have been able to make fake replicas, and also the best museums are only the people who got the fake replicas. It also can inspire you to write your own story, and to inspire you to go and lead yourself into the world of great people, and to inspire yourself to also become one of the best and most important people that you could have ever met in your life. One thing about the Egypt game, if I learned something, is that life is a journey, and that whatever story you're reading, is the fact that ideas come from anywhere, and it doesn't matter where you get your ideas, it's how you get those ideas. And that's the point of this whole story too. It's about how you get your ideas, not where you get your ideas. So I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I hope to see you guys soon in the next episode too. So until next time, if you're not out, beep 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 beep. Oh yeah, maybe I should contact some other minority channels and do a collab together, because that could probably do it. See ya soon!